So you obviously have built and are running a very successful business at the minute, and there's I know of lots of people who are starting, jewellery business, fitness business. I'm only starting my football business as well. What advice would you give to people? What kind of tips would you give to people about starting their own business? Because even though it is in lots of different parts of business, all the principles, I would say, would be similar.
Yeah, very much so. As we mentioned earlier, you have to have a plan. Just going in blind isn't wise, in my opinion. Yes, you have to throw yourself into the deep end, but having a structured plan as to knowing how much things are going to cost, those are the things that you need to get worked out. Because if you start spending money and all of a sudden you've no money left and you haven't got things set up, like, you're snookered. You've just wasted all of that money. So having a good business plan in place to start with, and having a vision of what you actually want, you really sort of have to know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you haven't got a goal. And if you haven't got a goal, where's your motivation going to come from? Whenever times get a bit rough or a bit tough, if you're sort of only half into it, that's when you're going to think, can I really be bothered with this? Whenever it gets a bit ropey. COVID being a good example of that. Like, if you were doing something that you didn't really like and things started getting harder, you would think to yourself, right, maybe just not bother this anymore. So having that idea and that vision and that plan in place, to me is major. But another part of it that we try and always do is do what you say you're going to do. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. There's nothing more annoying than somebody telling you that they're going to do X, Y and Z and they just don't. So that is one of our sort of big things that we think, right, say you're going to do it, just do it. You have to be the customer or the client or the member or whatever that is. Always put yourself in their shoes. So if I was this person coming through the door, what does that person sound like answering the phone? Does it sound like they're in a rush and they can't be bothered talking to me, or does it sound like they can talk to me all day? They come through the door, what's the first thing they see? Is it a dirty mat? Is it a hanky lying in the corner? Or is it a nice clean barbell? Is it everything tidy? Is it everything organised? Is it a member of staff saying, hello Matthew, how's your day going? You're very welcome, come on in, making you feel good about yourself, not here's Matthew. Matthew talks and talks and talks. Like that. If you put yourself in their shoes, what would you want to see? How would you want to be treated? How would you want to be brought in, welcomed?